Only the dull and physical mind was left of Satyavan, wakened to the bright spirit's luminous glade. But once before it faded wholly back, even that mind wholly faded back, he cried out in a clinging last dare. He makes the last utterance to Savitri. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri, lean down my soul and kiss me while I die, and kiss me while I die. What a poignant line. Savitri, 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 oh Savitri. See, this is the mantra. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri. It is that mantra which protects you from every evil, from every calamity, from every disaster. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri. It's a perfect iambic line, pentameter. See, there are exactly 10 syllables. Oh, Savitri, Savi. That is the Trocky. Three, Sa, I am. E3, Pirik. Oh, Sa, again an am. E3, Pirik. That's a perfect iambic line, you see. Oh, Savitri, Savitri, oh, Savitri, he's crying to her. What a poignant statement this one is. What charged emotion is there. What force is there. It is such a endearing kind of a wish in his soul that it must get fulfilled. Whatever he utters at the last moment, that must get fulfilled. You see. What does he say? Lean down, my soul, and kiss me while I die. Lean down, my soul, and kiss me while I die. He has given his consent to die. See, without the consent of the individual, death cannot take away the individual's soul. He has to finally give the consent. Yes, I am willing to die. You will suffering, paining, you want to live, but unless you say, yes, I am now ready to die, let take me away, the last consent has to come from the individual. Then only death can take away his soul. So that is the occult logic behind it. The logic is no death will touch you unless you give consent to death. You have to give the consent to the death, then only death can take place. So Satyavan has now given his consent. Yes, take me away now from you. See, lean down my soul and kiss me while I die. And then, of course, follows the sequence. Savitri is prepared. Yama, death comes, snatches his soul, and he starts taking his soul to his world. Death. He starts moving to the world of death. In the tradition, the world of death is the south, Dakshina. It is the south. He is going now to that Dakshina Marga, to the south, you see. He is taking the soul of Satyavan and carrying it with him. Now, from that point onward, you have got the spirit of Satyavan moving towards the land of death. Behind him is death, the figure of Yama, death himself. He is saying you have to move on now forward, like, as if he is forcing from behind for Satyavan to go to the south. And behind Satyavan's spirit, death, is Savitri. Savitri is following them step by step, every point. And then she has got a long dialogue with him, so to say. Dialogue in the sense that they keep on hurtling weapons of truth and falsehood against each other. And finally, it is the weapon of truth which is there in the hands of Savitri, which wins, and Satyavan comes back, so to say. So that is the general background of this one, you see. Now, there are certain aspects of this one. We'll see them in more detail here. But as he worked, his doom upon him came. The violent and hungry hounds of pain traveled through his body, biting at a palm, silently, and all his suffering breath we strove to rend life's strong, hard cause and be free. Then helped as if a beast has left its prey. Then have as if a beast has left its prey. In a moment of rich relief, rebound strength and happy ease. You see, he gets up again and starts his work, you see. Now the point here is, see this passage, then helped. Satyavan is doing his work. He feels extreme pain. The tiger has come and pounced upon the prey, upon the deer, but then keeps it aside for a moment, and that moment of relief of the deer is the important moment which is described. In that moment of relief, the deer is being helped. Then help. Satyavan is kind of getting help. Where from? How? Who is going to help him at that point? The question is, he knows now something is going to happen. The tiger has pounced upon him, but there is a little moment of relief, and in that moment of relief, he is looking for a then help. Who has helped him at that moment? How it has come to him? See, that is the mystery behind the whole passage you see. Then, as if a beast had left its prey, a moment in a wave of rich relief, reborn to strength and happy ease he stood, rejoicing and resumed his confident toil, but with less seeing strove. Now the great woodsman hewed at him and his labor ceased. Lifting his arm, he flung away the poignant axe far away from him like an instrument of pain. He had thrown away. She came to him in silent anguish clan. She came. Then help. She came. So the help is coming from her, so to say here. Then help in that moment of relief was there. Savitri is coming here. And then she came to him in silent anguish and clasped, and he cried to her. So that is the moment of relief. That is the help. She is clasping him. Then helped. Who helped him now? See, in the case of a dear, poor dear, there is nobody there. But here, Savitri is there to help him, you see. She came to him. So this then helped. It is that moment of relief is there. It is at that moment of relief. Savitri is really giving him the necessary succor, the necessary support, the psychological support at that moment is required, not only psychological, but occult support for his life breath. It is that occult support which Savitri is providing to him at that point. And came to him in silent anguish and clasped, and he cried to her, Savitri! A pang cleaved through my head and breast, as if the axe were piercing it and not a living pran. Such agony rends me, as the tree must feel when it is sundered and must lose its life. A while let me lay my head upon thy lap, and guard me with thy hands from evil pain. Perhaps because thou touchest, death may pass. That is the help at that moment he is getting from her. On the fated day, Savitri accompanies Satyavan to the dense forest. She has the foretold knowledge about his death. His death at the appointed hour, prophesied by Narad. Naturally, she would not want to leave him alone on this day, obviously. Even as he would go to the forest, the destined place, he would be going there to do his daily routine work. Satyavan has to go for his daily work of collecting fruits and flowers and firewood. But Satyavan is completely unaware of his coming death, with the least notion or the foredoomed event that he would be walking towards his death. He is walking towards his death on that day. Instead, he is happy that his sweetheart is there with him in the lonely forest. Full of green joy and life, he wishes to finish the day's work speedily that he may spend maximum time with her. He is exuberant and sings a chant a sage's chant that had the theme of the conquest of death and of slaying with the demons. He sang, he sang the high snatches of his chant that he conquered death and demons slain, and sometimes paused to cry to a sweet speech of love and mockery tender than love. She, like a pantheress, leaped upon his burn and carried from her into cavern hand. There is a terrible dark side of life, but there is also the wonderful power of love. The dark side of life, death is there now, but it is also the power of love against death, of love. His beloved is with him, and the unspoken perception is his beloved is there. Therefore, the perception is that the confident hope is the love that flows from love's union has the power that can triumph over all the adverse and disuniting forces. But as he worked, his doom upon him came. As he worked, his doom upon him came. It's a very beautiful line, this one is here. But as he worked, his doom upon him came. There is a triple alliteration of H. As he worked, him came. But as he worked, his doom, H is repeated. D worked, doom upon him came. And even a K sound came, worked. So there is a beautiful alliteration, effect of sound repetition here. Soft and terrible. It has the power to weaken it. It is a perfect iambic line with as in the first foot carrying an accent because of its position. But as that is how you read it, a perfect iambic line that we cannot have anything else. And a very simple line also is not given a phrase is elsewhere. There has to be nothing but as he worked, his doom upon him came. You can't change the word nothing. Such a beautiful, perfect line in metrical form in his diction that you cannot alter one word to the other word. You cannot interchange, exchange any word at all in this phrase. See, for instance, but as he worked, his doom upon him came. It has to be like that. It cannot be his doom upon him came as he worked. See, he is doing, you see, the whole poetry is gone, completely charm is gone, the power is gone. You simply interchange the phrases, you see. But as he worked, his dawn upon him came. His dawn upon him came, but as he worked. No, you don't do. See, that kind of a thing. Although there is some justification in considering the first food is talking, it would have been, etc., etc. But as he worked, his dawn upon him came. But as he worked, his dawn upon him came. But as he worked, his dawn upon him came. Mais comme il travaille, sa mort suivie. Correct? Is this correct? Or you want to change?
Mais comme il travaille,
Mais comme il a travaillé,
travailler,
hein?
it's not exactly correct.
Sa mort sur
Sa
lui
mort sur lui
est
est
venue.
venue. So this is correct, yes.
Correct?
There's a little mistake.
Okay. You give me the correct one.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Mais quand il a travaillé, sa mort sur lui est venue.